Yo, Gamebro here, and as you can see, this video is about my personal thoughts on this year's E3. I won't be able to record for a while, my splitter is broken, so I figured I may as well discuss my thoughts on E3 this year. Definitely paid more attention this year than the last several years. Can't really explain why. This is going to be my personal thoughts on the games, not discussing everything that's happened within the conferences. And I won't be discussing Ubisoft's or EA's either. When I think of E3, I think of the big three: Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. So here it is. For Microsoft's conference, I don't remember which came first, Sony or Microsoft, but I'm going to save Nintendo for last. At any rate, they announced the Master Chief Collection. All four of the Halo games, not Reach or those spin-offs, will be on one huge-ass collection. All the multiplayer maps in all those four games will be playable in that one collection. That'd be pretty sweet. And I'm not exactly sure how it works, but apparently you can play through like some sections of the first game and others in the fourth and the third, second. The order probably doesn't matter, but the point is it remixes everything from the four games, and that's definitely got me excited. And of course, they showed off Halo 5. Huge surprise. Another game that has caught my interest, Forza Horizon 2. I haven't had a lot of experience with Forza, to be honest, but I have played some of the original on Xbox Classic, and that is definitely one of my favorite games from the 6th generation. I've also recently tried Forza 5 on Xbox One. It is a gorgeous as hell, really fun game. So, Forza Horizon got me even more intrigued in the series. I haven't played a lot of racing games, but the ones I've played, I've had a blast with for the most part. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all the games from Microsoft's conference that has intrigued me. One thing I would like to bring up was how little Kinect there was this year. How ironic that it was pretty much all about the Kinect on the Xbox One, how it's like a part of the system, how the accessory was so important, so required. But they went from being arrogant about it to just flat out not having any pride in the accessory. I guess it means Microsoft is going to ban it after all, despite what they have been saying prior to that. I mean, I guess it's not bad news technically. A lot of gamers didn't really want the Kinect to begin with, but still it's like all the efforts of showing how awesome the Kinect is are just gonna go to waste. But whatever. As for Sony's conference, they've showed off LittleBigPlanet 3. The first LittleBigPlanet is my all-time favorite PlayStation 3 game, one of my favorites from the last generation. That gorgeous, really fun, customizable game. Of course, even looks more so beautiful on the PlayStation 4. So, if there's one game on that's gonna make me pick up the PS4, it'll very likely be LBP3. They have also announced a Ratchet and Clank remake, so that game will look 2 generations ahead. I mean, it sounds a little redundant to the HD collection with the first 3 RAC games, in HD, but hey, instead of it just being in HD, it's gonna come much closer to the limits of the systems. So, I mean, sounds a little like a rehash, but hey, I love Ratchet and Clank as well. that is another game that is going to make me consider picking up the PlayStation 4. So that'll be all for the Sony conference. Heads up, I'm going to be a little biased when it comes to the big end now. First of all, I loved the Robot Chicken skit. Anyone says that they saw a Robot Chicken section coming in a Nintendo conference is either psychic or is lying.
It reminded me of how much I used to enjoy that show.
See, that was pretty funny. Pretty neat surprise. Okay, so where do I even begin with the games? So they show off a new IP. I think it's called Splatoon. Some squid painting game. Basically, try to paint the other opponent. Try to use up as much paint as possible of your color, covering up the other opponent's paint. Orange and blue, I believe. It reminds me a little bit of Super Mario Sunshine, except instead of cleaning off paint, ink, and such, you cause it. I mean, it looks a little hectic, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Though they probably need to slow the pace down just a little. Just a little. They introduced another Mario spin-off, Captain Toad. It's kind of like a puzzle game where you're in this cubic world playing as, Captain Toad himself. Going through obstacles, getting through the star. You don't really have a lot of attacks. I mean, you can throw turnips and you can jump on them, but you can't actually physically jump. Let me say, it's about time that little Pipsqueak got his own game. Actually, no, before that, 20 years ago, there was Wario's Woods. An unpopular but fun as hell. Ironic, it was a puzzle game as well. I don't expect it to be a killer app, but it's definitely got me more excited than pretty much any other Mario spin-off nowadays. Ironic that I'm more tired of Mario spin-offs than I was when I was a child, because during the N64 and GameCube years, Mario was pretty much nothing but spin-offs, with the exception of Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. So, yeah, I might be picking that up. Probably would. The new Smash Bros. Game. Smash Bros. To Nintendo fans, it's like Halo to Xbox owners. That's something pretty much any system owner would be looking forward to. There's so much to discuss about the Smash Bros., but there are two things I like to get over. First of all, they've shown off that you can use your own Miis, you can customize them, customize all 4 B attacks, give them a decent amount of variety to use. I'm not a big Mii person, but I'm sure a good chunk of people are, and good for them that they can play as themselves. Another thing, they have showed off Pac-Man. That wasn't one of the third-party characters I was asking for, but I certainly can't complain. I used to love Pac-Man. And it does look like a lot of fun to play. A lot of his moves are like his moments from not only from the 80s, like not only from his own games, but from other Namco games as well. I will be looking forward to playing as that Yellow Muncher. Oh yes, another game that I'm especially looking forward to. One of the games that was one of the most pleasant surprises for me this year. Mario Maker. It is self-explanatory. You create your own blocks. Enemies will, you don't start from scratch. You set the 8-bit Mario enemies wherever you want. You design your own levels. And yeah, that's really nifty. Very nifty indeed. You can also change from nostalgic point to new Super Mario Brothers graphics. So yeah, all hunky-dory for me. Now hopefully they will add in sprites from like Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World being the best 2D Mario games of all time. That'd be pretty neat to create your own levels from those games. Also, I'm a little skeptical, like how many choices there were in enemies and blocks and such. How there's pretty much only one background, the cloudy sky one. Hopefully, they will give out a lot more options of enemies and objects than they've shown off in the demo. I would love to create like my own Bowser's castle. But yeah, as a concept, I loved it, and that game I very well might pick up at launch. Kirby's Rainbow Curse. I mean, I've kind of grown out of Kirby, to be honest, but watching the gameplay remind me how much fun I had with Kirby's Canvas Curse for the DS. And just for the sake of it, I could very well be picking that one up too, even if I do feel a little old for Kirby at this age. I mean, it was my all-time favorite game in his series. Well, Superstar was awesome too, but I've only ever played that game a few times, whereas I owned and played the hell out of Canvas Curse. One game that will get Sony and Microsoft fanboys intrigued by, Bayonetta 2. And also it will be coming with Bayonetta 1. So yeah, the Wii U owners will have it really good. They'll definitely get those who think Nintendo's too kiddie nowadays to pick up the Wii U. At least I hope the sales will... I hope the game will be flying off shelves. Hopefully that'll be one of the best-selling third-party titles. Especially from Sega. Actually, Sega has nothing to do with Bayonetta anymore. They were part of the first game, but now some other company owns it. I don't remember which one. But hey, whatever it is. Bayonetta, if you know product number 3, it is kind of like that game, but 10 times better. What I've played of it was freaking sweet. And yeah, what else can I say about it? Well, that is pretty much all the games that have intrigued me throughout the conferences. Overall, this year's E3 was pretty good. I think all 3 of the conferences, maybe Ubisoft and EA did well, but at least the big 3 all had solid conferences. There weren't a ton of surprises this year, but what games were shown off this year were sequels to solid games, so can't complain about that too much. Any negative thoughts I have about it, any disappointments? There are only 3 Sega games this year. Sonic Boom, which wasn't even unveiled here. Some Aliens game, and some Miku Voikolets game. The latter 2 don't really intrigue me. And while Sonic Boom looks enjoyable enough, I don't expect it to get above average scores, to be honest. I expect it to be another reason for gamers to just demand Sega to just kill off Sonic already. And I do wish Rare would have shown off something, even if it was a Sports Connect game. Yeah, those 2 companies did little to nothing, and it disappoints me. But E3 otherwise, as stated, has been quite good this year. I'm more excited on getting an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 now, and the Wii U does have a lot of potential still. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. This is GameBro. See you all in the next video.